Yo, what's up everyone? Today I'm going to try and make a sketchy little kicker out of just leftover wood that I have from other ramps and other projects. Alright, I'll get some pieces sorted out and see what I can make. Alright, so I found some pretty good stuff. Should be able to make something pretty decent out of it. So I want the ramp to be about 3 feet tall, but the existing transition offcuts aren't quite 3 feet tall, so I'm going to have to make a bit of like an extension on the ramp, which should be all good. So I've got everything set up to draw the radius on, so I'm going to do that now. So to join the two pieces together, I'm going to put a piece of wood on the inside and nail it in just to hold them together. So I joined the transition and the extension together, and it's actually pretty decent, like 3 feet. Looks taller once you actually build it than what you think when you're measuring it. I'm going to make it 3 feet wide also, so then if I do make a small one, it can be also like a landing too. The ramp's coming along now. I did a couple of slats, got a few more to do. Just gonna cut these. Beautiful. Looking pretty good. So the ramp's done. It's only got one layer though, which I'll probably add a second layer if I have a good enough sheet of plywood left over. I found some more sheets of plywood, but these ones are pretty sketchy, so I'm just going to cut the damage off here and then cut another section on this one to fill it in. So I just went ahead and added a second layer of plywood. It's pretty sketchy because all the leftover pieces I had were like all worn out and that, so I just had to cut some sections off that were still good to make it. And then I also added like a diagonal brace on the back, so it should be good. Alright, I reckon I should be able to make another ramp. This one's going to be smaller than that one. That one actually turned out bigger than what I thought it would be. Like 3 feet seems small when you just think about it, but once you actually build it, it's kind of decent. Like, it's not the type of ramp you'd want to just jump to flat with, so I'm going to go with something a bit smaller. I'm probably going to make this one 2 feet tall, so I'm going to do a 5 foot radius. To do the radius, what you do, you just get one piece of wood and then screw in another one on top of it, and either you get a piece the same length as what you're going to do your radius, but for me I've got one that's too short, so I'm going to screw another piece on top of it and measure from the screw till I get to 5 feet. So there, and then I'm going to screw that in and use that as my radius tool. So going to kick this piece of ply in here, get it all leveled up, and what you do is you draw your radius, you swing this along and draw it. Obviously I'm going to add another piece out here. I'll have to do another extension for this one to get it to 2 feet tall, so I'm going to try applying another bit of ply like this one here and swing it till it gets to about 2 foot tall, so that's probably about here. Yeah, exactly there. So just got to put these together nicely and then actually draw a transition to the 2 foot mark. Now I'm just going to cut that out. Beautiful piece. It's a bit too unsafe to use, I think. I'm going to square this piece off here now, and I should be able to get another transition out of this piece. Yep. Alright, now for the extensions. I'm going to add a bit of a flat top on it just to help it with stability so it doesn't like tip when you hit it or anything. So I'm going to cut through here. I'm going to join the extension and the bottom piece together, same way I did the other one. If you can avoid making an extension piece, I'd recommend try doing it as one piece because it'll be stronger. I've got the side pieces done, now I'm going to do the slats. I'm going to cut these at 2.5 feet instead of 3 feet, make it a little bit skinnier than that one. I'm going to use a thinner slat for this bottom part here, so it gives the bottom a bit of strength. For the rest of the slats I'm going to do them vertically like this. It's a lot stronger if you do it that way. If you do it this way, it bows down in the middle when you hit it because there's more flex that way than there is this way. And also if you're just using sketchy bits of wood, make sure you get like all the nails and that out of the top so the plywood fits on nicely. If you do an extension, I recommend putting a slat across where the joint is. Alright, so now I'm going to sheet the ramp. I don't have much plywood. I've got this sheet which is pretty sketchy, and then I've got a couple of offcuts. I use the thinner stuff to do the sheeting with because it's easier to bend. The other stuff doesn't really bend that well. So yeah, I'm just going to work out what's the strongest part and use it. I'm going to cut it through here because it's all messed up down here, and then probably cut this again and then join it together here. And then for the other top layer, I'm just going to have to use the offcuts and that. It's another thing where you get the plywood to join, you want to get it joined over a slat. So either you chuck another slat where the joint is, or try to get it so it matches. When you're sheeting the ramp, what you want to do is just work down one side and pull a ramp so it tucks in nicely to the side. You just want to keep adjusting it as you're going down and it'll square up nicely. I've got one layer of plywood on this one. If you do the slats really close together, you can get away with just doing one layer, but I'm just going to do two just to be on the safe side. Plus this plywood's all worn out and that, so it'd be better to double layer it. I pretty much finished the ramp now. I've got the second layer on. I just have to do a couple things to get it fully dialed in. I'll check back in tomorrow. I found an old whiteboard, so I added it at the bottom to make the transition a bit more smoother. And I also ended up building another smaller ramp. This one's only 1 foot tall. Then I ran out of plywood to do the face with, so I just did it with planks. It turned out alright though. This one doesn't really need a whiteboard down at the bottom because it's already pretty nice to the ground, but I might add one just for a bit of strength so this doesn't get chipped away or anything. There we go, 3 sketchy ramps made out of some leftover materials. Pretty happy with how they turned out. I'm surprised I was able to build 3, to be honest. I thought I'd be struggling just to make one. I'm really happy with how the ramps feel. I'm going to go set them up in the yard and try to come up with a couple little lines to do. On this one I'm going to try to jump up to the trampoline and just drop off the other side. I'm going to do the same thing again, but drop into this ramp on the way down. I'll move them both back. I'll move them back even more. It's pretty fun doing this. off this small one, I'm going to jump into the roller and then hip off the side over there. I'm already losing daylight, so to end this one off, I'm thinking about hitting this gap here and off the 3-footer, hitting a mini flip. I haven't done one in ages and I've never done one just to flat ground, so kind of nervous, but I'm thinking about doing it. I feel like I have too much speed going at the ramp for the mini flip, so I'll have to make this a bit smaller. No, I'm going to swap the ramps around. Yeah. I just want to add this in. I didn't even really realise the ramps were tipping, but what you could do to stop that is, instead of cutting it straight down, you could cut it on an angle to give it a bit more stability, or you could also add some legs onto the back just to stop it from tipping if you wanted to. That's about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm really happy with how the ramps turned out. If you want me to do some more videos just sessioning the ramps and maybe taking them to a couple of different locations, let me know and I'll do a couple more videos just setting them up, and hopefully I'll get some other riders involved in the videos too.